Wichita police say they want to sound the alarm on meth in the city. Name the crime, and chances are it will come back to meth. Assaults and burglaries have doubled in just 3 years, and police are pointing directly at meth as the reason. Now, Mike has been working on this story for the past couple of weeks, and Mike, the numbers, they're alarming.
They are, Melissa, and if you take a look at them here, meth arrests are up 50%. Like you mentioned, assault and burglaries, they have doubled. Here's Captain Paul Duff.
Meth, we've just seen like a massive increase in meth. And it used to be the crack cocaine was one of the major primary drugs in Wichita, and that we hardly see that at all on the search warrants and what we're seeing on the streets. It's primarily meth and marijuana, the two primary drugs in Wichita.
Melissa, most of us are familiar with the meth labs of the past, guys in hazmat suits, chemicals being pulled out of homes or cars. We used to cover those kind of busts all the time, but it is rarer now for police to bust them. It is all coming from Mexico. Just yesterday, we showed you this picture of a huge seizure at the border in a strawberry truck. It is literally coming in by the truckload. This is Deputy Chief Jose Salcido explaining just how big some of these labs are south of our border.
For a home cook, the filter was the size of a coffee pot filter. Matter of fact, they use that all the time. If you look at the equivalent filter in a lab south of the border, they're using a bed sheet to filter out the hard drugs. So you get less than an ounce here. Now you're getting 20, 30 pounds per one cook.
Melissa, the meth from 10 to 15 years ago, police say was about 39% pure. The meth coming from Mexico now is 95% pure. And as you heard, it is being made in mass quantities.
Wow. So what about the cost here?
It is much cheaper now. Meth from about a decade ago was $18,000 per pound. Today, a pound of meth that's at least twice as strong is about $3,500. Sergeant Trevor McDonald worked undercover and talked about what users will do to get that money.
They completely control and consume a person's life to the point where they will do anything, and I absolutely mean anything that you can think of, to get that next money so that they can go buy more drugs. I'm tracking currently just in my section of probably over 30 guns a month that go out into the city from people breaking into cars. And I would venture a guess from my experience that the majority of those are drug-related criminals.
Melissa, police say it really will take a community coming together to solve this.
And on that point, tonight you're working on a story that shows the personal side, the personal impact of meth and the destruction it can cause.
Yeah, tonight I sit down with the mother and sister of Cody Greason. He's the man who shot and killed Deputy Robert Coonsey last year. It is the first time they've ever talked publicly about this, but they say now is the time. Here's part of what you'll hear tonight.
It was just devastating. You know, to hear that news, I was devastated for everyone involved. You never expect to hear that. That's the last thing we ever thought would happen. Even with all of Cody's, you know, ups and downs in his life, you just don't ever think that is something you're going to hear.
You will hear their full story and what they want to say to Deputy Coonsey's family coming up tonight at 10 o'clock.
Officer in trouble at 21st and 295th, operate on patrol.
Oh my God! Officer down, officer down.
The police officers told me that your son, Robert Cody Greason, has been involved in an officer-involved shooting. And the police officer was killed and your son was killed too. It was just devastating. You know, to hear that news, I was devastated for everyone involved.
This is the first time Cody Greason's family has spoken publicly about that day. Sandy Stoll and Kayla Evans talk about the son and brother they once knew.
He was boisterous and fun and smiling all the time. He was cheerful.
But before Cody even started high school, the problems began.
At what point did you notice something was wrong?
8th grade summer, leading into his freshman year.
You said his first drug arrest comes at the age of 15.
I believe so.
And what drug?
Marijuana.
Did you know what to do, though?
I didn't. I had no idea what to do.
Cody soon turned to methamphetamine, a drug they say consumed him.
We wouldn't see him for weeks at a time. At that point, he was straying away from us.
He was in and out of jail.
He would, get out of prison and working towards having a better life and being successful, and he would be so positive about it. The meth is right there around the corner wherever you look.
The next corner took Cody Greason down this rural Sedgwick County road. It's where he shot and killed Deputy Robert Coonsey. Coonsey returned fire and both men died. Deputy Coonsey left behind a wife and a young daughter. What would you want to say to the deputy's family?
I'm very sorry, and I know this doesn't bring him back, and I just want you to know that I pray for you all the time, and just want you to know how very sorry we are.
I can only hope for the Coonsey family that they have all the help and support they need to get through such a terrible time.
This surveillance video shows Cody the night before the shooting and his erratic behavior outside of a Wichita home. He was stealing things from cars, including a gun that hours later he would use to kill Deputy Coonsey.
This last bout he went through was just something a lot different with the type of meth he was on.
It was different.
It was different. I didn't realize he was a full-blown addict at that point, though, either.
As a mother, were you in denial?
I was probably in denial and wanted to believe. You don't want to ever think this can happen to your children.
We go to the site all the time where it occurred. We were just out there, and we pray for the officer, we pray for my brother, and we just pray for everybody involved, especially their family.
Sandy and Kayla blame no one but Cody, but want people to know the power of a drug that police say is creating a crisis in our state.
It destroys lives. It's like almost a weapon of mass destruction.